I want to start with the big news out of today, and probably the biggest was the injury to Luka Doncic, who came off in the third quarter of their matchup today. So the scenario was, if the Mavericks had won, which they did, and the Warriors lost, then the Mavericks would have got the 3 seed and played the Nuggets, but the Warriors did end up winning, which means Luka being out there at that point was really not required because they were up big, and also the Warriors were up big in their game as well. So, yeah, he didn't necessarily need to be out there, and he has got what they're calling a calf strain. Now, that sounds like an old man injury more than anything to me, and that's not positive signs for the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know. What do we think? The other thing, not sure if you know about this, but they're playing the Jazz, and they actually have the first match of the playoffs. They've been scheduled as the first game of the NBA playoffs on Sunday here in Australia. Yeah, so that's... The NBA is not liking the Mavericks there either. The NBA is stitching the Mavericks up on that and giving him even less time to recover. What do you think about this and Luka's injury?
Well, I hated him being out there in the first place. I mean, you were talking about pre-playoff basketball and people trying to get into seedings and stuff like that. I think it's one of those trying to dodge matchups and trying to get seeds. I think you could exert yourself a little too much or try something that's really stupid. Even if it didn't work out as well, you played your star even more minutes, and this is probably the worst possible scenario. The tear that the Luka and the Mavericks are on could shape the playoffs. I can see a scenario where they make it as far as the NBA Finals. But yeah, this is massive implications for the league moving forward, and one of the greatest reality TV shows, I reckon, the NBA with all that's going on. Why do you reckon? So they're trying to play him to try and get that 3 seed. Do you reckon that's the only reason, or?
Yeah, I think so. But from my perspective, I'm not sure. Like, as a Warriors fan, I didn't really care if I finished as the 3rd or 4th seed. I'd actually almost the way the Jazz have been traveling lately, and we'll get into them afterwards. But the way the Jazz have been travelling, I would have almost preferred to play the Jazz than the Nuggets. So I didn't really care if we lost and the Mavericks pushed up to 3rd. And similarly, as a Mavericks fan, I don't think I'd care too much whether we got the Jazz or the Nuggets either. So I don't know. The Warriors rested a couple of players today and a couple of players yesterday. The Mavericks, I don't know. I don't think he should have been out there. Again, I don't think the difference between the 3 and the 4 seed... The only difference between the 3 and the 4 seed is if you're the 3 seed and you win your first round matchup, you avoid the Suns in the second round, and you're probably going to play Memphis in the second round. As obviously finishing 4th, you're most likely going to play the Suns in the second round. So finishing 3rd, if you can get through the conference finals, you obviously avoid the Suns until that point. But yeah, do you think he plays? Because a calf strain, to me, does not seem like an injury that you can get over within a week.
I reckon you'll do everything you can, but I still think it's stupid to try and strain yourself to the 3. Now that you've put it out in front of me, you're versing the Jazz and the Joker there. Actually, I reckon if you're Luka and the way you're tearing, you probably wouldn't even really think about it too much. But yeah, that's massive implications. I'm really seeing how consider it, because if Jazz... Yeah, I mean, once it's Luka or bust when it comes to the Mavericks, and moving forward, he shouldn't have been out there full stop. I don't think it was worth nothing. Obviously, in hindsight, I can say, but it shouldn't have been worth it at all. I mean, so everyone else was sitting everyone else, so why would you even have him out there?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but look, it's always a risk that these things happen. I watched Klay Thompson go for 41 today. He's coming off 2 serious injuries, the worst injuries he can have. Goes for his highest mark since January 2019. So they played Klay Thompson. He was out there. He was on fire, which in retrospect you could say was a great thing for the Warriors to get him into that kind of form. But at the same time, what happens if he goes down with injury as well? So it's just something we look at in retrospect and hindsight. And unfortunately, the Mavericks can't do anything but pray at the moment now. So we'll get...